From 1996 to 1998, the American publishing company Random House released a series of 4 Godzilla books that were all written by author Marc Cerasini. The first book in the series, Godzilla Returns, was released in 1996. The following year saw the release of Godzilla 2000. In 1998, 2 books were released, Godzilla at World's End and Godzilla vs. the Robot Monsters. However, this tetralogy of books was actually supposed to be a pentalogy, with a planned 5th book entirely finished and ready to be made available to the masses. In fact, a release year was set for 1999. The title was Godzilla and the Lost Continent, but it never saw the light of day. The book's plot would have gone as follows. In the Pacific Ocean, Godzilla's peaceful slumber is disrupted by the sudden emergence of a continent-sized landmass. Nations rush to control it only to find ancient ruins and survivors of a lost civilization. Complicating matters further, Varen, Manda, and Batra wreak havoc and clash against humanity. Their resistance abruptly ends with the appearance of Raijin, a colossal humanoid kaiju made of rock and stone, who obliterates the invaders. Raijin is revealed as a herald of the Earth itself, possessing Biollante and unleashing monstrous flora worldwide to purge humanity. Now, Godzilla stands as humanity's and the Lost Continent's last hope against these elemental forces. So, why was it never released? I mean, they had the entire thing ready to go. Even a book cover was made. And while they say don't judge a book by its cover, this is pretty sweet. According to author Marc Cerasini, Godzilla and the Lost Continent was cancelled as a result of the poor reception behind the Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie. Therefore, the publisher assumed that consumers wouldn't be interested in this new book and that it would likely flop. 25 years after the fact, only the first 12 pages of this book have surfaced. Granted, these pages were made available at the end of Godzilla vs. the Robot Monsters, but at least it's something. Beyond that, this book is lost media, and it's very unlikely it will ever be officially released. That being said, I did some digging and tried to see if I could find any leads. And I did find something. Abe Books, a website that sells new and used books, has a softcover listing for Godzilla and the Lost Continent. Well, sort of. The listing is there, but there aren't any copies available for sale. There's an international standard book number, but no copies have ever been confirmed to exist, since the book never actually hit store shelves. However, that hasn't stopped hardcore fans from getting this novel to be released. While researching this book for this very video, I stumbled upon a forum post from Toho Kingdom that was posted way back in February 2022. The post itself was titled Godzilla and the Lost Continent, Recovery Project. The user that initially made this post, SSS9, said the following. This book, the last planned in Marc Cerasini's series from the late 90s, was cancelled following poor reception of the 98 film. However, we have extensive details of this story, of this book, even cover art. I believe it would be possible to recover the book, whether it is finished or just a draft. This piece of media has long been considered beyond reach for over 20 years. If anyone knows a way to contact Marc personally, perhaps we would be able to finally get our hands on this text that has been speculated over for many decades. That aside, I propose a collaborative rewrite project, not fan fiction, to imitate Cerasini's distinct style and tell the events of the story as Marc intended. Please let me know if you're interested. Now, from a fan perspective, this sounds like an interesting project, but from a legal perspective, it's illegal. It's entirely illegal. It is a crime what they are trying to do. The author, Marc Cerasini, has absolutely no say in whether or not this book could ever be published. Sure, he wrote the damn thing, but you have to remember that the characters are owned by Toho, and releasing it without their permission is illegal. However, the initial poster, SSS9, actually came up with a potential workaround to all of the legal problems. They stated, I think perhaps there would be ways to circumvent legal restraints. I believe crowdfunding a bribe of sorts could potentially work, though of course the official story would be that it leaked anonymously. Perhaps it could pinned on a publisher who would have had the manuscript before it was cancelled. This is illegal. Arguably even more illegal than the previous idea. Bribery is illegal, but bribing someone to violate international copyright law is certifiably insane and also certifiably illegal. These are the lengths Godzilla fans will go to just to find some kaiju lost media. An admin for Toho Kingdom actually stepped in to close the thread, stating, no. A, this seems sketchy for a few reasons. Seems like it would be easy to crowdfund and then run away with the money. B, this seems illegal and or like some sort of harassment. C, really stupid for you to advertise this on a public forum. Don't bring it up again. Now, my guess would be that this user did in fact bring it up again, since there was a Reddit post made in 2022 where a user made a post with the title Godzilla and the Lost Continent, the Lost Book Recovery Project. The post states, any well-read Godzilla fan is familiar with Marc Cerasini's iconic series from the 90s, a series cut short by the poor reception of the 98 film. Godzilla and the Lost Continent was never published, leaving fans with only a meager plot summary and cover art, and leaving the series unfinished for decades. I believe it is time to recover this text. Marc Cerasini is many things, but I believe he is a fan first. If anyone has means to contact Marc, perhaps he could provide us with the book or a draft at the least. He declined to reply or even read my DMs to him over Facebook Messenger, so if anyone knows him personally, this would be the time to come forward. The other option is a complete rewrite of The Lost Continent using Cerasini's iconic style of prose. No, this would not be fanfiction. That's fanfiction. It would be an accurate and faithful reconstruction of the story as Marc would have written it. Again, that's fanfiction. Any experienced writers would be interested in collaborating, let me know. It's time we get closure. It's time we get Godzilla and the Lost Continent one way or another. I'm uncertain as to whether or not this is the same person, but given that this was posted around the same time frame, they used the same sort of language, and it's the same general idea of a recovery project, I have to think that this is just a really passionate fan trying to get a fan movement going. They are misguided in trying to break laws, and I condemn that 100%. That's wrong. No. But I would like to see this book get released through legal means. Will it ever get released? I seriously doubt it. This book does exist, but it's a long shot for Toho to decide to randomly release a 25-year-old novel. Don't get me wrong, I obviously want to see this book be released. I want it to see the light of day, but you have to be realistic about the likelihood of this ever being published. The most likely scenario is that Toho does decide to release it if enough fans clamor for it, and they would probably put it up on the Godzilla store as like a 5-book box set. But like I said, it's a long shot. And with all that out of the way, I'm Cole McCormick, you're watching Firewood Media. Consider becoming a member to support the channel. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's all through YouTube. For just $1.99 a month, you'll receive member shoutouts and your name featured as an executive producer in all of our film projects. There's also going to be members-only videos, and we're going to have a members-only podcast as well, so that's in the process of being made. You don't have to if you don't want to, it's just an extra perk if you want to support the channel, while getting some unique content as well. Also, check out the merch store, and yeah, either way, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.